This is the end. Goodbye, apartment. Goodbye, Maryland. If there's one thing the Lord is gonna do, it's give me good lighting for YouTube videos. So I am back in Mexico, y'all. Listen, Maryland was cute. America was cute. America remains cute, y'all, okay? I'm not one of those people who's like,
F the United States, I'm never coming back, I'm starting a new life in Mexico.
no, I'm a big fan of America. I was born and raised there. However, that cost of living, y'all, my rent for 1 bedroom, huge, beautiful, like, private roof, all right, $823. It's a short-term lease. This is a 3-month lease. I use a Google Pixel for my phone plan, and if you are out of the country consecutively for 3 months, they cut your ish off, and I really enjoyed my 2-factor authentication, and I don't want to have to reset that on every single account I have. It was really interesting coming back to Mexico because I always thought, oh, what I need to do to get into a position where I can have my own apartment again is to get my finances together. Like, I need to figure out my budgeting, and I need to make sure I've diversified my streams of income and I have enough money flowing in. And once all that happens, then I'll feel confident enough to then commit to signing a lease. All of that is true, but the actual thing that led to all of that financial security was the inner work, and specifically the spiritual work around feeling deeply, deeply safe in my body and in my relationship with God. For me, when I went through a lot growing up, it created this idea in my head that I had to take care of everything by myself, right? I couldn't rely on anyone but me. I certainly couldn't rely on a higher power. So over these last few years, as I've been deepening my faith, that's been the main thing I've had to really work through, is this idea of like, okay, God, but in those really hard times, where exactly were you? And so doing the process work around that has allowed me to reconnect to, at every single moment in my life, I have been loved, I have been protected, I have been covered. There were times when I couldn't see or feel that connection, but that doesn't mean that connection wasn't there. And what's beautiful is that I have so many examples of the synchronicities and things just working out that allowed me to be here that I couldn't have planned on my own. So for instance, the jobs that are allowing me to feel financially secure, I did not apply for a single one. I was simply being myself, and I received DMs saying, hey, would you be interested in doing this kind of work? It's things that come very easy to me, and it's things that I did not have to do any kind of application for. I literally just was like, hey, yeah, I'm interested. And then they handed me the offer letter, right? Even the place that I stayed in, so I moved out of my sister's apartment on the 22nd. So I had about 5-6 days where I actually stayed with a woman who literally had not known the week before I moved in. And the only way I knew about her, I didn't even have to go outside, y'all. I was really inside when I lived in the United States. My sister went outside. She went to some party or something, mentioned to a woman she was talking to that she was moving out of her apartment. The woman said, who she had literally just met, you should move in with me. But my sister had already locked in where she was gonna stay, but she was like, hey, my sister needs somewhere to stay. Could she live with you? And this woman who had never met me literally was like, sure. Days before I moved out of my apartment, had no idea where I was gonna be, but I fully trusted it would work out. And then I easily found a place to live for $55 a night. And then when it came time to move here to Mexico, I had multiple friends who were already here in this area. And so I was able to contact one friend, and she actually did a walkthrough of the apartment I was gonna move into. And then another friend was like, girl, as you're figuring out your place, you can stay with me. The way I got this apartment was through that same friend who I stayed with. She mentioned she was doing this, and I asked her how she found her apartment. There's a WhatsApp group that's literally called like low cost, like, you know, rentals or whatever. Joined the WhatsApp group, DM'd a lovely lady. As soon as I heard her voice, and then as soon as I saw she sent voice notes, I was like, I'm living there. Transferred her the deposit, and now here I am living in her space. I think what this whole experience has really taught me, and I think especially if you live in America, but I think a lot of places, you maybe have been taught this lesson that life is this struggle, it's this hustle, it's hard work. You know, I think that's super prevalent as a way of living. It's like, yes, you can have something you're passionate about, yes, you can take inspired action, but the work should be hard work. It can't be fun work or easy work or joyful work, it's hard work. And it's such a persistent, prevalent message And the experience of moving here and the experience of doing the work that's allowing me to pay my bills has shown me like, no, it can be super duper easy. One thing I want to say too, another experience that further affirmed that things can be easy and it was more my creative life, has been the video on my channel that recently went viral. I think it's over like 30,000 views at this point. And it was talking about these two YouTubers and their relationship and super messy, all that stuff, right? The way this random viral video came into my life is that a friend just sent me a DM like, hey girl, I have some tea. And I decided to make a video on that topic. What I also think is really helpful as a mindset is that the point is only ever what we are learning about ourselves and how we are growing and expanding and having more joy in our life and experience as a result of our choices and of like how we move in the world. Because the experience of making that video, it showed me, can be very easy. Like it was a 4-hour process from start to finish of talking to this girl, having this idea, shooting it, editing it, recording it, uploading it being live. And I had some internal challenges where I was like, should I actually even be doing this? Because I know I can. Just because you can do something, should you be doing it? And the experience of then having the success of the video, which then brought people to my channel, brought a lot of engagement to my other videos, to my other ventures, also showed me like why I was struggling with it, because due to the nature of the topic, it brought a lot of people who are just very opinionated and wanted to give their 2 cents and often had just very critical things to say about the folks that I was talking about. I see every comment, most comments, sometimes like Google filters things. And so what I was experiencing is I would go log in and I would just see this wave of like often really like critical, mean comments, right? And that's something that I invited into my like beautiful YouTube space by addressing this topic. And so it really affirmed for me where I still have ideas and areas around lack. This idea that like, oh, I need to talk about certain things in order to be successful. It's not true. And even being here in Mexico and like I said, having work that's really fun and joyful is further teaching me like, yeah, you don't need to be doing work that's hard or painful or out of alignment. You get to have work that's really fun. You get to have opportunities literally fall into your lap, literally be DM'd to you. If you believe that you can have that, you can. And what's super interesting is that I'm here right before like a possibly category 4, category 5 storm is coming to Mexico. And so the part of me that is scared, I notice like, oh, she's sort of like, oh no, are we gonna be okay? I'm really blessed because the apartment I'm staying in has those like metal like storm thingamajiggies you can slide over the window. So I feel like I'll be totally safe. But it's kind of like that story in the Bible where the disciples are on the ship with Jesus and then, you know, Jesus is taking a whole nap while they're freaking out and they're like, Jesus, help! And he's like, what? Why'd y'all wake me up for this? And so I was able to just connect to this part of me that's still scared and provide compassion and love. And I see that all of the processes that I had around my own ideas of like victimization and being trapped in the suburbs, being trapped financially and all these things, I needed to process all of that so that I could come into a new experience and not be met with those same familiar fears and could actually enjoy waking up, going to the beach first thing in the morning, swimming in my apartment pool, walking a block to see my friends, eating a taco dinner for like $5 US, and just really appreciating what a beauty and what a blessing my life is. So I know there are a lot of people who are looking to head out of the United States, heading to go somewhere else. It's 1000% possible. There is nothing stopping you. All you need to do is be with the fear that comes up every time you go to make that first move. So with that, I'm gonna wrap this up because I have an accountability call. If you want to join my accountability calls, I host them every day, 2 to 3 p.m. Eastern time. It's just a way to like do work and do the things that you've been putting off. So I'm actually going to edit this very video during the call. And I also host weekly roundtables with Hello Creator. So if you are a digital creator, you just want to hang out in creative community, those are every Wednesday at noon Eastern time. Finally, I'm a creative coach. So if you want some support one-on-one to work through some of your creative challenges, you can get a free 30-minute coaching session using the link in my description box. And with that, a goodbye.